North Dakota in the win column last weekend, 48-31 final over Missouri State. Here in for Hawk Talk this week, Tom Miller of the Grand Forks Herald. And Tom, what a dominating second half for North Dakota over the Bears. Really just took control of the game on both sides of the football and ran away from a team that came in here number 7 in the country and really took it to them.
Yeah, what a dominant second half. You think of that game going 21-10. You didn't really know what to expect the rest of the way, but from there on, it really flipped on its head, starting with those really important points before the half to make it 21-20 at half. I thought that was really important, and then UND's ability to get consistent yardage on the ground on first down, and then obviously they hit on some big plays as well. But I just thought the consistent yardage they were able to gain against that Bears defense was probably the best we've seen that offensive line look and that running game look this year.
Yeah, it was a balanced effort too. Over 500 total yards, almost 250 on the ground, over 250 through the air. That looked like a very confident club, and it was a lot of different guys getting into the act. And I think that's got to be the thing that's really encouraging moving into this weekend.
Yeah, very unpredictable offense. You know, the one series where I think you see Tommy Schuster, Quincy Vaughn, and Simon Rumfo all at quarterback on that entire drive. A couple weeks ago, Jack Wright had the big touchdown catch. This week we saw, different guys get into the mix. Even Red Wilson had a big catch that eventually got called back for the illegal lineman downfield. But you're just seeing different guys fitting into some roles, and it's got to be a difficult offense to prepare for because there's not exactly one guy you can shut down there.
And defensively, it's a group that every week they're trying to just get guys up to speed, trying to get better. And that second half against Missouri State, they took one of the most difficult, scary offenses that you're going to find in the Valley, and they really shut them down. They got after Jason Shelley. The back end played really well. The linebackers tackled well in space. I mean, that was a really complete effort, and especially in the last 30 minutes of that game.
Yeah, I thought we saw multiple, UND defenders have their best games of the year. Whether that was Bubba Schweiger said today he thought that was C.J. Siegel's best effort of the year. And down the line, I thought Marcus Vaughn Jones, Caden Koppinen, Devin Charnowski, we saw some of those guys at their best. Casey Schultz chasing the quarterback a couple times. UND's got to find some confidence defensively and play with a little bit of swagger. And I thought at times we saw some of that, and maybe they can take it on the plane this time and see what they can do at Youngstown.
Yeah, and Missouri State 0 of 6 on third down in the second half. So the Fighting Hawks finding ways to get some 3 and outs to get off the field was huge as well. Speaking of Youngstown, they played a real tight contest here last year. They got one of the most tough, difficult, slippery backs out there is in Jaleel McLaughlin. It's a venue that North Dakota has not played in before, down at Stambaugh Stadium. It really sets up an intriguing matchup this coming Saturday.
Yeah, Youngstown State has had a very strange start to the schedule this year. I just felt like there weren't a lot of games that gave you a great idea of where they fit in the hierarchy of the conference. It was some strange opponents maybe on the low end, and then they played North Dakota State and they played in FBS. So you just had a hard time figuring out where you should peg Youngstown State. But generally speaking, I think they're going to play in a lot of one-score games this year, and that's what I expect. Down there in Ohio, I think it'll be fairly similar to the 24-21 score we saw in the Allaire Center, which, it's a 3-point game, but now you're going to have to do that on the road.
Played a couple different quarterbacks too, and this is a team that they want to get downhill, they want to play physical, run it at you. Coach Phillips has done a really good job, I think, trying to build this program back, really rehaul the roster with a lot of young players. But make no mistake, they want to run the football, and that's going to be the first time I think North Dakota has faced a true run-first team. Yeah,
absolutely. We don't know what to expect at quarterback after Youngstown State played 2 at North Dakota State. But like you say, either way, they're not going to throw the ball a whole lot. Jaleel McLaughlin is going to be the man they'll go to both in the running game and in the screen game. I have to imagine that it feels like 75% of their explosive plays offensively are in the screen game to McLaughlin. So, he's going to be the number one focal point of UND's defense this week. And if they can bottle him up a little bit, obviously that's going to go a heck of a long way to a victory.
Yeah, North Dakota, by the way, offensively continuing to get really good performances from Tommy Schuster as well. Don't want to let that go by. 1,100 yards passing already this season. Tom, should be a fun matchup at the Ice Palace coming up. Hopefully not too cold there, though.
My first time. Not a lot of FCS venues out there, my first time, but haven't been to Youngstown.
Should be a fun one. We're looking forward to it Saturday on Midco Sports. We have a 5 o'clock kickoff. Be sure to join us.